This is Trip. They said they needed somebody whose mic demeanor matches how the D-League get it hype inside that ice arena. For live action analysis and highlights, you need to let your host on the mic. Mr. Reichert be the light to lead you through life between the pipes. Incite like an encyclopedia. Look inside yourself, find the fight to compete in you. Get in while you can, the numbers doubling fast. Asses in the seats and snot bubbles on the glass. Sign your name on the line for your spot and lock it up. This is hockey. We'll see who talking tough when they drop the puck. Try to keep your teeth and knock it up. Sorry about your luck. You should probably go sit down somewhere safe and get doctored up. Turn it up loud, let it knock in your truck. Or in the office, sound waves ripple through coffee cups. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's DLeagueRadio.com. Let's talk it up. Log on, lock it in, and lock it up. It's DLeagueRadio.com. Let's talk it up. Lace your skates up or sit back reading the tea leaves. You are now tuned into the D-League. If you ain't bumping this in your ride, you need a DD. You are now tuned into the D-League. Leave your TV, come and see it in 3D. You are now tuned into the D-League. It's the best podcast in the biz, better believe me. You are now tuned into the D-League.
Live from Bucks Arena in Urbandale, Iowa, it is Championship Sunday in the Central Iowa D-League. We bring you the Novice Division Championship, the Wild Goose versus the Bandits. Joining us on the ice and in the sound booth today as a special guest, we have from the Iowa Wild, Joe O'Donnell, along with Matt Whips and Jeremy Sandy. Gentlemen, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, John. And Matt, good to be here with you, my friend. We're looking forward to this one. It should be a outstanding game between the Wild Goose and the Bandits, and it's the championship, which means don't leave anything in the tank.
Don't leave anything in the tank. It could not be more even, Joe. These teams were 3-3-1 during the regular season. Only 1 point separated them in the standings, with the Bandits coming out on top as the number 1 seed. But I look for a hot up-tempo, not necessarily high scoring, but definitely a very close game.
Can we go back to that intro for a minute? Like, you guys have a rap star that works for you?
We
like,
do.
Where did that come from?
Yeah, John has a coworker that put that together for us.
It was unbelievable.
Yeah.
Might have him do some work for the Wild.
He's very talented.
So warm-ups winding down here from Bucks Arena. And as Matt mentioned, we have not only the 1 seed, but the 2 seed here this afternoon. The Bandits wearing tan picked up a 2-1 overtime win over the Knights to get here to the championship game. And the Wild Goose wearing their green sweaters, a 6-4 win over the Blues, a game they led 4-0, kind of hung on to win in the semifinal, which you'll have to excuse me, which dates? Just like last weekend?
This was about 10 days ago. We had a scheduling conflict, so we actually played some midweek games. So we're coming off about 10 days ago on these semis.
So little time for these two teams to game plan and get themselves prepared. And I know how seriously these guys take this. I mean, it's a big day. There's a good crowd in, I guess, what you call the atrium here at Bucks Arena. And we're getting ready for the opening faceoff.
So the leading scorers coming into today, the Goose are led by Todd Torgerson with 14, Josh Dunt with 13 goals, and Nick Peterson with 12. So very balanced scoring. Very true on the Bandit side as well. Sean Roskilly with 14, Martin Lopez with 11, and Ken Busby and Lee Collins both with 8.
Aaron Harris is the starting goaltender for the Bandits. He is down to our left. And to our right, goaltender Nick Foster for the green-sweatered Wild Goose. So again, it's a championship game. Wild Goose from right to left. And the Bandits from left to right. And we're underway. It'll be swept in by the Wild Goose, driven right back out by the Bandits. And the Goose gather that and fling it back in, trying to establish a forecheck here in the opening seconds. It's a steal. The Goose will sweep it along, but this puck comes out the center, and chasing it down the captain, Jake Adams. Adams knifes one ahead. It's dribbled along by number 18, Chris Robinson. The Bandits able to throw it back out to neutral ice, and the Goose are on it again. Wild Goose over the offensive line. Here's a chance right circle. Now spinning back with the puck, Todd Torgerson. And the Bandits eventually steal. Clear it ahead, foot race for this puck with 50 seconds gone by in the first. Wild Goose turn one over, side angle shot deflected. And the netminder able to steer that away from trouble. Puck now out the front of the goal crease. but unable to get a shot off from the Bandits was number 9, Mark Statz, as he went tumbling down to the surface. Right wing side, the Wild Goose are on to it, probably looking for a change in personnel after they clear through center ice, but we've got an icing call here. Line changes for both sides. Running clock here, 20-minute periods, and we're just about 90 seconds in, no score.
And Joe, I played in a consolation game earlier this morning, and the ice is pretty rough. As you can imagine, with the heat and humidity outside, we got some bouncing pucks, and it's something we'll need to be watching as the game progresses because it could definitely come into play.
I feel like when I was here a couple of years ago, able to work with you guys on D-League Radio, it was very foggy, and we could barely see through the glass. So at least there's a change a couple years later as far as the humidity goes, and the ice maybe not so good, but at least we could see through the glass a little bit better. Wild Goose over the offensive line. They'll trickle it down below the goal line. Josh Straithman in after it. Big frame back there is Straithman. As his puck comes to the blue line, kept alive by the Wild Goose and Phil Pashka. Chance in front, loose puck, but unable to get a shot through was Brad Buck. Wild Goose hold in, right point. They chuck one towards the front of the cage. But that shot deflected wide. I'd say the Bandits are doing a nice job so far, Matt, keeping things to the outside and defending well when it does get towards the middle of the ice.
Yeah, they're doing a good job of keeping the Goose out of the slot for sure, getting out of those dangerous areas, making sure Harris has plenty of space.
Wild Goose with a steal, right circle wrister, juggled, but then diving on top of it, the Bandits goaltender Aaron Harris. That shot off the stick of Brad Buck.
So good push early on from the Goose. Both teams kind of, as you'd expect, feeling themselves out a little bit as we start this game. But I'm feeling the energy will ratchet up here very shortly.
Should mention our coaches. Kurt DeSellis is the head coach of the Wild Goose. They are the number 2 seed, and Coach Pete Van Howling for the Tan Sweater Bandits, the number 1 seed. Again, an overtime win over the Knights to get them this far. We're back to live action. About 3.5 minutes gone by. No score here on D-League Radio. Puck out at center ice. The Wild Goose will chisel this one in. Bandits back to chase. Right point. The Wild Goose keep it alive. They throw one in front. That's stolen away. And the Bandits will just clear out through center ice. Foot race here. Hustling after it. Martin Lopez and his backhander just trickled wide. Good foot speed to negate icing there, Matt.
Lopez is a speed demon. That didn't surprise me at all. He gets the most loose pucks.
Wild Goose controlling right wing side and just getting it past the blue line and down the ice was Cameron Brose. Out with his goal stick. The Bandits netminder, he turned it over and a shot had to be stopped there as Brose followed that puck up after the giveaway by the goaltender Aaron Harris. Wild Goose centering, wide open in front of shot. And it's between the pads of Harris. He's able to squeeze the pillows and hang on.
Well, all of a sudden, Josh Malang found himself in the slot with the puck, and Harris had to make a big save there to keep this scoreless. Jeremy Sandy, what are you seeing down there at ice level?
I was going to say, let's work in Jeremy a bit here.
I'm seeing a lot of electricity down here. Both of these teams, both benches, are really fired up and really pumping to go. You can tell this is a championship game. I think they alone have got this ice melting in spots, and I think the scoreboard's even sweating right now for this electricity.
Really selling it to the listeners there. Here are the Bandits through center ice, right wing side. Carrying in and then firing one that looked like it was going wide was Mark Statz, but it was sticked away by the Wild Goose goaltender Nick Foster. The Bandits have some big bodies on the ice right now. Number 17, Tommy Hoffman, trying to establish a net front presence, but the Wild Goose are able to get the puck from the right wing boards just out the center. Delayed offside here. And not touching it, realizing that was Mark Statz. He'll curl back out as the Wild Goose start up. Rink-wide feed off the left wing boards. Goose unable to get to it, and Statz will carry along and eventually flip it into the Goose zone. Comes back out to neutral ice. Hoffman picks it up. He'll launch it back in as the Bandits try and establish a forecheck. Well, after a couple of good first shifts for the Wild Goose, I say the Bandits have had the better of the play maybe the last couple of times through the rotation.
Yeah, good pushback by the Bandits, although Foster really hasn't been tested as of yet, but I think that's going to change very soon.
Yeah, after this puck for the Wild Goose, deep in his own zone is Jake Adams. Adams off the boards. Kept alive, though, by the Bandits' defense. Will move one of the right circles. Stats trying to launch it towards the cage. That was blocked. And Adams again on it for the Goose. He'll spring it ahead and all the way down. And an icing call here.
And not a bad play. Sorry, Joe, go ahead.
I was going to say Bandits head coach Pete Van Houweling with some applause for his group. He knows they've spent a shift or two in the offensive end.
Yeah, I was just going to say it's not a bad play after getting pinned in your zone to send that for an icing, as we don't have the NHL rules. We can switch guys as soon as the icing occurs.
Yeah, I'm not going to lie. When I play adult league hockey myself, I do enjoy the fact that rule's not in place. Get off when you can get off. Here's a break. After a loose puck, the Wild Goose onto it, left wing side. McMahon trying to throw it in front, but a good job by the Bandits. Get back now, turnover, a quick shot, redirected around side of the cage, but it rattled wide. Almost 7.5 gone by, no score in the championship game here from Bucks Arena between the Wild Goose and the Bandits. This puck goes all the way back in the Wild Goose zone. Bandits steal momentarily, but the Wild Goose able to flip out the center. Luke Vance for the Bandits, headman. That was stolen. McMahon now over the offensive line, weaving towards the right wing side. Lost it. Vance chucked it up. Not quite out, held into the blue line. Another try by the Bandits, and they'll spring it out in open ice. Here's a chance for Jeff Fortner, but he just can't get there. As coming back in time was Strathman. Don't see that every day. Puck lodged in some skates there for a moment, but the Wild Gooses, Phil Paschke able to come out of that trouble and send it all the way down for an icing call.
So good keep in there by Hunter Lee, and Hunter's got a wicked shot. He couldn't quite get it on net that time, but a good keep in nonetheless. And the puck will stay in, and face-off will occur to the left of Foster.
Matt, when did the league start this year? Because I see the records, the Wild Goose, 13 wins. The Bandits, 14 wins. Was this a mid-October type start?
We had an October 1st start. In the novice division, they have 21 games and 7 practices, and then the 2 playoff games for the 30-week schedule.
Here are the Wild Goose, a 3-on-2 if they hustle through the neutral zone, but a turnover will send the Bandits back the other way. Right wing side. Shot goes wide. That came off the stick of Lee Collins. Now a scramble for it. To the right of the Goose netminder, Foster. The Goose will spring it down the ice, but another icing call. Now nearing the midway point of period 1. No score here from Bucks Arena.
So a different feel to this game as compared to even the semifinal. Both teams obviously know what's at stake, and kind of get that feeling nobody wants to make the first mistake, but I just keep getting the feeling it's going to open up here very shortly.
So do we have the consolation game following this one then?
Yeah, actually the next game will be the intermediate championship, and then the third place game, or the consolation in novice, will be the last game of the day.
And all on D-League Radio?
Just the 2 championships today.
All right. So the commish doesn't even get his own game broadcasted. Is that what you're telling me? You might want to change the rules. Here the Wild Goose through center ice, attacking left wing side, and with a space to shoot was number 47, Josh Dunt, but a kick save made by the Bandits netminder. Still alive for the Wild Goose, at least momentarily. Bandits get to it, however, and Ken Busby will throw it out to center ice. Goose reset, dribble it back in. Off the tape of Josh Dunt. Bandits, though, quickly to clear back out the center. Goose defense on it. John Good try to work it deep, but the Bandits cut it off. They'll scamper ahead, fly one off the right wing boards and in on side. Now slipping past the check momentarily was Mark Stats. Bandits will hold in barely, swing it down low. Stats into the right wing corner. Try to chop it in front as he went into The Goose defenseman heavily, as both he and Good hitting the deck, and now the Goose will start up. Through the neutral zone, numbers if they hustle. Josh Malang over the offensive line. Malang trying to turn to his backhand, but good defense there by Kent Forbes, keeping him at bay. Malang now trying to center. Once again, Forbes deny that opportunity. The Goose hold in at the blue line. Left wing side of centering feed is stripped away. And the Bandits will just carry ahead. 3-on-2 if they can hurry, with the Goose changing. Thrown in from center ice. Icing waved off. Wild Goose back to gather in the scoreless opening period. 8:20 and counting now as the puck goes into the stands. And a whistle.
So, Jeremy, you're down there behind the Bandits bench. What's the mood down there? A lot of chatter or pretty quiet?
Now, there's a lot of chatter coming from both teams, and both of them are saying about the same thing right now. How can we set the tone and get that first goal? What are we doing to make it happen for our team and shutting them down? And right now, they're both just trying to find that.
Wild Goose win the face-off back. Will poke it up the dasher, not quite out. Held in by the Bandits' Sean Roskilly. Now the Wild Goose just inside their own zone. Puck squirts deeper into Goose territory. Will carry it up left wing side, lose the puck for a moment. John Sesher, trying to clear out. That was blocked. Man they call Devil Dog. As the puck now thrown out by his Goose teammate in Matt Burns. It's loose at center for a moment. Todd Torgerson will pick it up. He'll carry in right wing side, and this play offside.
Yep, Brad Buck just got caught in that zone. He didn't realize Torgerson was coming with that much speed. And it results in the offside.
So if I had to guess, I'd probably say shots 3-0, 3-1 maybe in favor of the Wild Goose right now. We haven't seen the Goose netminder, Nick Foster, as you pointed out earlier, Matt, tested much so far.
Yeah, looks like he's got brand new gloves down there too. We've got to get those things marked up.
There was a tie in the season series between these two teams the last time they met, May the 6th. Also a couple of one-goal games. A Goose 3-2 victory on December the 10th. And a 4-3 Bandits win in late January. Other than that, everything else a bit more lopsided in the season series. How many teams total, Matt?
4 teams in novice and 6 in the intermediate, so we have a 10-team league.
The Wild Goose with a clearing attempt. Knocked down for a moment, but now the Goose will backhand it out through center ice as Nick Peterson shoved it down the surface. Our final 6+ minutes now in the opening frame. You surprised we're scoreless?
I am a little bit, especially from the Goose standpoint. They are pretty explosive and tend to score early and often. They definitely showed that last week against the Blues.
Are both teams at full capacity or anybody on vacation?
As far as I know, we have full benches on both sides, so that should not be a factor either.
You know, sometimes you get in these summer months and you'd hate to miss a championship game, but sometimes other duties call, correct?
This is true. Family comes first.
Peterson left side with a shot. It's blocked, and the Bandits will sweep it out the center ice. It's an opportunity here for the Bandits' right wing side. Collins with a shot. And that was sticked away by Foster, really his first action, and he handled that rather calmly. Bandits to a loose puck, right wing boards. They throw one in front, they ricochet around, and Foster's on top of it for a whistle.
Well, Foster had to be sharp there because he had a little friendly fire off of unintentional deflection from his own defenseman, but he was alert and quickly grabbed that puck.
Face off to the left of Foster. Foster hails from Davenport, Iowa. This puck grabbed by the Wild Goose. They'll send it off the dasher. It's knocked down. A shot by Dan Jones deflected wide. And the Wild Goose pick it up. Right wing corner. Big Josh Strathman will throw it ahead. This will come in on the netminder Harris. And he'll just stick it into the corner. Centering pass. A deflection went just wide. As Dylan McMahon had camped out in front, but tipped it wide. And now McMahon will scurry back into his own zone and chase down this loose puck. McMahon will carry it along. Right wing boards, he tried to headman. No icing here. Peterson will try and chase after. Excuse me, that's Cameron Brose into the corner. It's thrown in front. McMahon a shot, and that squeezed just wide past the far post. The Bandits' left wing boards will get it up, not out, but on a secondary effort, they'll carry through center. Strathman picked the man's pocket, and he'll drill it back in as the Wild Goose trying to establish a forecheck in our final 3.5 minutes of period 1. McMahon, left wing side, danced past the check, lobbed it towards the front of the net, but it was steered wide on a redirect by Brose. Good shift, though, by McMahon. Wild Goose hold in. They'll twist it around the boards. Favorable bounce came free from McMahon. Will look to center. Bouncing puck redirected off the Bandits towards their netminder. And he's able to make the save. So both teams have had pucks deflect off of them. Last time it was Foster having to make a save that hit his own teammate. This time it's Harris gobbling up that loose puck.
I was going to say eerily similar, just on the other end. Both goaltenders had to be sharp there.
All right, so drawn out of the right of the Bandits goaltender. Off the face-off, the Wild Goose will corral it at the right point. Throw one in front, knocked down by the Bandits D. Chunked along and forced out the center. Wild Goose crunch it back in as Dan McCarthy lays one in for the neutral zone. The Bandits will chop it off the dasher and through the neutral zone. The Wild Goose back to chase, and we've got another icing call.
So I'd say the Goose have probably had the better scoring chances so far. The Bandits have started to press a little bit. If I had to choose one, I would definitely say the Goose, but it's 0-0 where it counts.
You think there's at least initially in this period, there's a little bit of a, I don't want to say nerves, but maybe a feeling out process because of the magnitude of this game for both teams?
Yeah, definitely, because they normally play a little more wide open than this, so there's some definite nerves out there.
Nobody wanting to make that mistake that would put the other team in front, it appears. Wild Goose come back for this loose puck. Left wing side, it is John Good steering it out to neutral ice, right in the wheelhouse of Malang, and Josh Malang will carry over the offensive stripe. And his pocket pick, Wild Goose hold in with a long shot from number 47, Josh Dunt, that ended up in the corner. Bandits get it up, not out. Second try, they'll punch it through center. Wild Goose with Dan McCarthy ripping it back in. Just over a minute now to go in the first. From Bucks Arena here in Urbandale, no score on D-League Radio. The Novice League Championship game here. As the Bandits will clear up and out the center ice. The Wild Goose will chase now deep into their own end. Right wing circle. John Good forced it out the center. Bandits sent it back in. They would have been offside, so they'll clear the line. Officials doing a nice job talking to the players out there as the Wild Goose off the right wing boards and through center, and that may be the first time we speak highly of the referees here this afternoon. You know, the benches are already giving them a bunch of business. That's just how it works in adult league hockey.
They have a thankless job, but they really do a nice job for us.
Wild Goose left wing boards with Malang. Trying to fight past the check. He's got some space. Josh Malang in, took a shot. He scores! In the final seconds of period one, the Wild Goose get on the board as Josh Malang escapes some trouble, and he wristed one down low, beating the netminder Aaron Harris. And that'll take us to the end of the first period. The Wild Goose, some momentum into the intermission.
So just a huge play for the Goose as Malang just powers his way through there and beats Harris on the short side. Not much he could do. And that is what we're used to seeing from the Goose. They love to get in that slot and just drive the net. And the Bandits were doing such a nice job of keeping them to the outside. And that time he was not going to be denied. And Harris just couldn't quite get there. And, you know, you never like to see, if you're a team getting scored on, give one up in the last minute. But unfortunately they did there. And the Goose have opened the scoring.
Jeremy, what do you got for us? You're on the side of the Wild Goose bench. I'm guessing they're pretty fired up, taking a 1-0 lead in the final seconds of period one.
Yeah, I'm down here with Captain Jake Adams. You guys took a nice 1-0 lead here late in the period. What's the second period coming to? What do you got to do to keep on top and bury this one?
I just got to keep getting goals. Keep getting goals and hold them off. That's about it.
Pretty basic. Just hold them off and score more than they do.
All right.
Well, at least he has the rules down, Pat. Score more goals than the opponent, you tend to win.
Sometimes it's best to keep it simple. I like it.
All right, so two sides will switch ends here for period 2. We'll have the Wild Goose now from left to right, and the Bandits from right to left here on D-League Radio. I want to thank our great sponsors, the Keg Stand, primary sponsor of D-League Radio, now in its 3rd year being the top sponsor of D-League Radio. They're at 3530 Westtown Parkway, over 90 beers on tap. Food specials all day, Monday to Friday. Great place to hang with friends or catch the big game on one of over 15 big screen TVs. That's the Keg Stand in West Des Moines. Speaking of keg stands, it's my understanding that Alexander Ovechkin was doing a keg stand with the Stanley Cup, as he has not stopped celebrating yet.
That surprises me not at all. When you wait, 14 years to get your hands on it, you're going to have a few beers out of it. Why not?
Somebody's going to have to pry his hands from that thing. Nice glove save by Aaron Harris, the Bandits netminder. It's the Wild Goose with an early push here in period 2, trying to add to their 1-0 lead. There's a chance in the slot, and they score. A one-timer, Matt Burns snapping one, 5-hole, and a goal late in the first and one in the opening minute of the second, and the Wild Goose feeling good about a 2-0 lead here from Bucks Arena.
Yeah, Joe, this is what we were describing earlier. The Goose tend to score in bunches once they get it going. And, you know, coming into this game, they had a big advantage in goal differential. They are plus 42 on the season, and the Bandits are plus 24. And the Goose can really fill it up quickly, and they're starting to show that now.
It was one of those plays that sort of happened out of nowhere. The puck from the right wing boards moved towards the slot. Nobody accounted for big Matt Burns, and he made no mistake quickly firing that puck down low. Bandits looking to answer, throwing one out the center ice and rushing ahead with it right wing boards was Nate McCombs. After it goes Fortner into the corner now left wing side. But it is the Wild Goose to force the issue out the center. Wild Goose shifted down the ice, and an icing call. Strathman sent it the length. Now 2 minutes into the second, a line change for both sides with the Wild Goose leading 2-0.
So, Joe, obviously very early, but at the same time, the Bandits find themselves down by 2, and I have to believe Pete's telling him, hey, guys, we need to get the next one here. Let's settle down. We put the next goal in the net, and we're back to a 1-goal game. They certainly don't want to get down by 3.
Well, tough break both times, kind of leaving their netminder Harris out to dry. The shot by Burns to start the second period. He was wide open, and Malang late in the first got to the front of the net, and he was uncontested. Chance by the Bandits off that face-off, and a stick save made by the netminder in Nick Foster. Wild Goose will squeeze his puck out the center ice. McMahon steps past the check. Dylan McMahon weaving towards the left wing boards, peeled up as a man in front, tried to muscle that way. Instead, now it's Peterson in slot on his backhand. They score! A backhander by the Wild Goose. Nick Peterson had hit the skates of a Bandits defender, got past the netminder Harris, and all of a sudden it's 3-0.
Joe, I love what McMahon did there. He got in the zone and he realized he needed to wait for some help. And so he kind of spun and waited, and then it was Peterson to the rescue. And again, it went off a Bandit skate, but still, that play was created because McMahon waited for a teammate to be there in the middle.
And McMahon had Chris Robinson going to the front of the net. There was nobody around him. He elected instead to hit the late man coming, and it was Peterson who just turned to his backhand and rolled one home. Here is Peterson looking for more. Weaving past a couple of checks. Right wing side turn to his forehand, but his snapshot hit the outside of the net. Peterson looking to center now from the corner. His bid knocked down. Wild Goose to it. Good defense there by Houston, and that allows the Bandits to come out unscathed. And here is the speedy Martin Lopez. Slowed down, though, finally at center. Bandits do shoot it in behind the cage of the Goose. Wild Goose can't clear. Barely kept in at the point by Houston. Centering feed knocked around, and this puck will just skip out the center. Houston one-hands it ahead. Bandits have to clear the stripe. They do. And the Wild Goose will just swing it out to neutral ice. The Bandits, Dan Jones will intercept. He'll step past a couple of checks. Jones, right circle, firing one. And a glove save there by Foster. Stayed on his skates and made the stop.
So good pushback by the Bandits. First Lopez on the rush. Nice defensive play by Jake Adams to break that up. And then a nice shot there to make sure Foster's paying attention, and of course he is. But
Ton of hockey left, Matt. I mean,
yeah.
No need to panic here if you're the Bandits. You get one, as you pointed out, try and get some momentum going. Wild Goose able to pump the loose puck from the face-off out through center ice. Bandits send it back the other way. The Goose will intercept. John Good at his own left circle. Banked it off the linesman. Came right back to his wheelhouse. And Good will fight his way out the center and play it softly into the Bandit zone. Bandits take over. In front of the Wild Goose bench. They'll charge through neutral ice. Trying to ram it in, but at least muscling along for his teammates. Now a centering feed came free and was just out of the reach of Busby. Busby into the left wing corner, finding some support. Tommy Hoffman had his opportunity blocked. And the Wild Goose will start up all by himself. Is number 76, John Good. It's a 1-on-4. Good will muscle it in, and it's just flicked away by the goal stick of Aaron Harris. Bandits will pop it out the center. Wild Goose try and throw it back in, knocked down by the tan jerseys. They'll touch it back into the Wild Goose zone. No icing. This to the right of the Goose netminder, Nick Foster. Wild Goose get it up to their own line. Controlling Josh Dunt. He'll punch it off the right wing boards, trying to chase it down Cameron Brose. Brose nearly danced past the defense of Kent Forbes, but Forbes denying him. Bandits now have it. Left wing side from their vantage point, outletting. And it's Hoffman at center ice just prying it in. Wild Goose go for a change behind the play. Bandits to get some fresh bodies out as well. Just over 6.5 gone by in period 2. Wild Goose leading 3-0 here on D-League Radio. Battle for it. Deep in the Wild Goose zone. Busby being worked over. Trying to support with Stats. But he came into the corner too late. The Wild Goose emerge. And they'll skate it out left wing side. Dunt hits the red line, fanned on his dump in. McMahon will follow it up. Worked it free to Dunt. That was stolen away, and the Bandits try and attack here. McCombs, left wing side. Looking to trickle it free for some help. Good job by McCombs to tie things up in the corner. Stats joins the fray. Puck comes to the point, but it couldn't be held in. Missed opportunity there by the Bandits. They had some numbers in the offensive zone for a moment.
Yeah, good pressure, too.
Hunter Lee will swing it around the Dashers. The Bandits play out the center. They are completing a line change as they control neutral ice. At the offensive line, not able to get it deep was Ross Killey. Wild Goose turn it back over. Sean Ross Killey moved it along. Jeff Fortner goes back to Ross Killey, and he'll just play it in from the offensive stripe. Wild Goose trying to blast it down the length. That hit a body, skip free. Good got to it. He then overskated. The Wild Goose will peel back behind their own net. Try and reset here a bit in the form of Jake Adams. Adams will just curl it off the right wing boards and back out the center. Wild Goose now going for a change on the fly as Ross Killey had mans. Fortner couldn't grab it. And back now are the Goose again deep in their own end. Off the right wing boards, a penalty call here, I believe. It's a roughing call. And the Wild Goose are going to go shorthanded, I believe.
That's John Good.
John Good to the box. So a chance here for the Bandits' man advantage. And a big one as we near the midway point of the contest, and the Bandits down 3-0. Offensive zone draw and a power play for them.
Yeah, I want to quickly remind everyone that D-League Radio is also brought to you by So Cherry, your screen printing and sewing, short-run garment decorating specialist, and the official outfitter of the CIDL. So the jerseys you see on the ice were all provided by So Cherry.
They do great work for the Iowa Wild as well. They've been a longtime partner of the Wild. Bandits power play here for another 100 seconds. The Wild Goose clear up, not out. Good keep at the blue line by the Bandits, number 25, Hunter Lee. Work free now for Luke Vance. His shot was blocked, and the puck trickled back the other way. Bandits reset. Vance carries over the offensive line, sent it towards the middle of the ice. Collins couldn't stretch for it, and shorthanded. It's a chance for the Goose. Nick Peterson already with the goal in the game, and his shot fought off by the Bandits netminder Aaron Harris, who gets a whistle.
Well, nice play there by Peterson, because not only does he get the puck in the Bandits' end, but he kills off a lot of time on the penalty as well, and actually drew a nice face-off here to the right of Harris.
And with a running clock, valuable time ticking off for the Bandits' power play while they make a change in personnel. Peterson on the draw for the Goose, but it's the Bandits to corral it and spring it out the center. Give and go, and Papian will move it along. Left wing side now for Kent Forbes. Forbes, though, couldn't get past the hulking Josh Strathman. Strathman, right wing side, deep in the offensive zone. Short-handed, mind you, just trickles it around the dasher. Collins will gather for the Bandits, and Lee Collins slips past the check, but his pass was errant. Now a foot race for it. Collins leaning on a man, created some separation. The Bandits get to it. Late stages of their power play. A shot was blocked. Dan Jones was trying to track it down, but it skips out the center. Jones will wheel through neutral ice. Attack with 4 green sweaters staring him down the barrel, and he'll just fire a long shot that is smothered by the netminder Foster, and that does it for the power play. Now under 9 minutes to go in the second, 1 in the first, 2 in period 2. And the Wild Goose a 3-0 lead here on D-League Radio in the championship game.
So I was looking for Ross Gilly to get involved on that power play. He's got a great shot from the point. They couldn't quite get him in there, but I assume they're going to do that very soon because he can score from anywhere. He's got a very good shot.
Face off in the offensive zone for the Bandits. It comes up high. Lopez with a bid, and that went just wide. Thrown back in front. Here's a chance. Jones with a shot off the goalpost. Rebound and sprawling out to pull it underneath them is the Goose netminder Nick Foster.
Wow, so the puck luck favors the Goose there. That thing was bouncing around, and it looked like it was going to find its way in, but Foster recovers just in time to keep his team up by 3.
Best chance maybe of the contest for the Bandits right there. That short side bid hit the goalpost on the stick side of the netminder and stayed out. Wild Goose come in transition. They fire one wide. Now they look to take it free on the forecheck. Matt Burns with a goal in the contest, stealing, trying to jam one in on a wraparound bid. No whistle yet. And then finally a halt to play. Things getting a little physical as this game has moved along in the corners and particularly there in front of the net of the Bandits goaltender.
Yeah, I couldn't quite see who that was. Is that Hoffman? Tommy Hoffman said, "You stay away from my goaltender. Unless you have the puck, get out of my crease."
I'd probably be listening to him as well. He's one of the more massive humans on the ice for either side. Goose keep it alive off the draw. A long shot, deflected down. It's loose in front, throw to the back post. It was just out of the reach of the Goose's number 42, Brad Buck. You know, John Reichard, the D-League commissioner, pointed out to me that it's singular in Wild Goose. You know why that is?
I always wondered why it wasn't Wild Geese.
Well, sometimes when it's a tradition, you just keep it as is, I guess.
Yeah, don't change it now.
They may have been at the keg stand when they came up with that team name.
Well, they do have over 90 beers on tap, so.
Wild Goose left wing side, right on cue attacking. Or excuse me, the Bandits. My apologies. Now play behind the Goose net. As the Bandits have it left wing side, trying to keep it alive and sweeping it down low is Hoffman. Bandits reverse the flow behind the cage. Busby, this yellow helmet, chasing it down. The Goose bring it up to the point, but not out. The Bandits hold in. It's Hunter Lee, but that gets turned over. A foot race back for this loose puck the other way. Tracking it down Forbes, and Kent Forbes will get some help and move it out to center ice.
Nice defensive play by Forbes.
He had some heat bearing in on him there on the forecheck. Bandits with a shot. McCombs fired it wide. He had some traffic, some help going to the front, and I don't think he realized it. Now a wrist shot by Tommy Hoffman is steered away by the netminder Foster. good keep at the point by Lee, but he lost his edge, and the Wild Goose forced it out to center ice. They have a chance here, but Vance will scurry over, and as he's falling down, poke it out the center. And Cameron Brose bumped into the referee and took a seat right in front of his bench because of it. But the Wild Goose attack anyway. Through the slot, a shot, kicked out. Big rebound was there. Still not cleared, and the Bandits will jam it off some traffic in front and then work it out right wing side. Nice save there by the Bandits netminder Aaron Harris to keep it manageable. Down 3-0 is his side with less than 5 minutes now to go in the second. This puck squeezed in from center ice. The Bandits control. Nearly turning it over was Luke Vance. He's able to stay with it, force it out the center. It comes back into the wheelhouse of Vance, right wing side in his own zone. Once again, he'll power it up and out to neutral ice. Wild Goose now attack. Over the offensive line, left wing side, Josh Malang. He opened the scoring very late in period one in the dying seconds, in fact. His try here, though, is blocked, and the Bandits with numbers if they hustle a 3-on-2. Middle of the ice, slipping past the check and carrying it, and then firing a shot off the crossbar was Sean Roskilly. And he's frustrated there as the Bandits adding some iron to their diet here in period two.
Well, that's what we were alluding to earlier, that Roskilly has such a good shot, and he finally got loose there, got some separation, and he just missed that one.
I don't think it was deflected either. I think it was straight through and just fluttered off the crossbar. Tough break there. Bandits could be within a goal at this point if they had gotten a little bit of luck off the iron. Wild Goose win the faceoff, and they'll spike it through center. A rolling puck will die short of icing, and out to handle the Bandits netminder Aaron Harris. Now Dan Jones, right wing indirect feed that Roskilly kept coming through the neutral zone. Bandits turn it over. Wild Goose will pluck it in. Chris Robinson, soft dump into the offensive end. It's hammered back the other way by Roskilly, who he banked that one off the left wing boards, and it nearly gave the netminder Nick Foster some trouble. You weren't kidding. He can shoot the puck.
Yes, he can. He'll let it go from anywhere.
Bandits have it right wing side. Throwing one in front. A bouncing puck. McCombs with the bid. Fortner, though, waved at it and missed. Now out at center. Bandits stuff it right back in. They're starting to carry the play here, Matt. After giving up that third goal, they, I think, sense the fact they need one here soon.
Yeah, it's getting to be crunch time here for the Bandits, and they know it.
Josh Malang for the Wild Goose. Gave up puck possession. Offensive zone left wing circle. Bandits get it just out to neutral ice. Fortner on the neutral zone forecheck now, but the Wild Goose pick it up. Left wing boards. Their dump in doesn't go as far as they would have liked as the Bandits knife it away and just spring it out to center. This play offside, however, a little scrambly sequence there. Both teams turning the puck over, and eventually Todd Torgerson trying to carry in. He had a teammate in the zone early, so it's offside on the Wild Goose. 2 minutes now to go in the second. Running clock here, 3-0 in favor of the Wild Goose here in the championship game. Again, the Wild Goose, the second seed. The Bandits, the number 1 seed coming in. We're back to live action. Bandits will swing it off the dasher and out to center ice. Wild Goose defense back to handle. Bill Pashka twisting it off the left wing boards. Comes right back to him. Will drive it ahead. The puck appeared to deflect, but an icing call anyway with about 80 seconds to go in the second.
And Joe, as you said, the Bandits are the number 1 seed. Well, a couple of weeks ago, with the Goose clinging to a 1-goal lead, Dan Jones scored literally right as time expired to enable the Bandits to emerge with the 1-point lead and keep that first place bid, because otherwise they would have flipped in the standings that day. I talked to Dan before the game. He assured me it was in before the whistle.
Of course it was. Well, really, at this point, it's in the rearview mirror. He could have, I guess, admitted had it not crossed the goal line beforehand, but way better story if he says it was a legit game-tying goal.
Absolutely.
Bandits through center in the final half minute now Wild Goose steal. No attack with good speed. Left wing side. Peterson with a wrist shot. And that was handled. Now it's thrown back in front, but fanning on it was Matt Burns. So Peterson with a goal, had that bid. Then he centered for Burns, who has also scored, and he couldn't connect. Brad Buck also out on this line for the Wild Goose. The Bandits will swing it out to neutral ice. There goes Lopez, speeding after it, 2-on-1 if they can make it happen, but Lopez defended nicely there by Strathman, and he broke up that rush. Final seconds now of the frame. A shot goes wide from the right wing side by the Bandits, and that's going to take us to the second intermission. We're through 40. The Wild Goose, a 1-0 lead after one. They've opened up a 3-0 lead now after two, and both coaches are going to want to talk about the front of their bench here. As we see the Bandits, Pete Van Howling motioning for his group immediately to huddle up.
And it looks like Jeremy's very close to that. Jeremy, what you got for us down there?
Well, I'll tell you what, they're still talking strategy down here, which sounds just like a championship team. They are not talking any negativity, and they are looking to win this. And I'm here with the captain, Luke Vance, right now. Luke, what is your team going to do in this third period? You're down 3-0. How do you come out with a win here?
We're going to keep our head down here and keep digging, keep going after it. We're going to make some small changes here and just get back at it.
All right. Score 4 goals more.
All right, thanks, Jeremy. So also want to remind you that D-League Radio is brought to you by Red Dragon Herbs, custom blend tea, loose leaf herbal teas from around the world. Popular flavor favorites include anti-inflammatory, Turkish apple, and the ever-popular chai, and is now being served at the 1882 Coffee Company in Bondurant. And Red Dragon Herbs is owned and operated by our own Ryan Llewellyn, who will be playing in the Intermediate Championship for the Wolverines coming up after this game. So congratulations to Ryan as he expands his business empire. So stop by their stand at the Des Moines Farmers Market on Saturdays, or you can order online at reddragonherbs.net.
The Wolverines and Jesters, a 3:15 scheduled puck drop. Then at 4:30 today, the Knights and the Blues. Earlier today, here at Bucks Arena, the Flying Squirrels, if I remember correctly, right?
The Vicious Squirrels.
Oh, Vicious Squirrels, sorry. The Vicious Squirrels, a 4-2 win over the Wanderers. And it looks like the Benders, well, they were probably hung over. They were doubled up 4-2 by the Stampede. Were you here for both of those, Matt?
I was. I played in that first one.
Were you on the winning side?
I was not. I was on the Wanderers that game.
What was up with the Vicious Squirrels? They just had it going early?
They did. They have a lot of speed on that team, and they crash the net a lot. So good play there by the Squirrels.
How would you rate your performance?
I would say not bad, considering we only had 3 defensemen, and I was one of them. I had about 30 minutes of ice time.
My friend, the oxygen supply was probably running low. Especially with these, I know they're, running clock the first 2 periods, but, or the, running clock format, but the first 2 periods being 20 minutes with 3 defensemen, you probably logged more than that in ice time. So an 18-minute third period is underway from Bucks Arena. We'll see if the Bandits can pull off the improbable. So they have an opportunity left wing side here. Bandits from left to right in the third. Wild Goose with a 3-0 lead from right to left. And an 18-minute third period for all the marbles. Bandits applying some early pressures. Mark Stats goes into the corner. Puck held in by the Bandits D. A long shot. Whistle just wide. Fortner trying to hustle to it, but the Wild Goose are able to get it out to the neutral zone. Bandits have to clear the line. And some players still trapped in the offensive zone. Meanwhile, the Wild Goose attack. Fortner on the back check, though, broke up that play. McMahon steals it right back, and the Wild Goose in business, but Dylan McMahon fanned on his shot. And now it's Hunter Lee to chase after for the Bandits to the left of his netminder. Lee poked it around the boards. McMahon's there to meet him. Now Vance for the Bandits defense off the left wing boards, and all the way down she goes. This will be, well, they wave off icing. And the Wild Goose netminder there to handle it. Foster just left it on a tee. And the Wild Goose swinging around the left wing boards, and they'll skate ahead. Bandits steal and just punch it back the other direction. Wild Goose captain Jake Adams clearing out the center. Bandits attack right wing boards. Busby with the nameplate of Buzz on the back of his jersey, forcing the issue. With the Wild Goose again, get it out the center. Houston couldn't play it or he would have been offside. Nice job by the Bandits to hustle back, though, and steer it right back into enemy ice, and the Wild Goose have to retreat, where they turn one over. A long shot, scores! Ross Killey, who can fire the puck, as we've talked about, said thank you very much for that gift of a turnover, and he buried it stick side, and all of a sudden the Bandits with some life, less than a couple of minutes in, it's 3-1.
Well, that's exactly what the Bandits needed, to get on the board, get something going for all their efforts, and boy, if you're the Goose, last thing you want to do is force it up the middle. And like you said, Joe, it was a gift onto the stick of Ross Killey, and he just buried it.
And again, right before that, the Bandits, give them credit, they were going to be offside. They hustled right out to center ice to clear the zone. They got to a giveaway. They flipped it in. They then kind of forced the issue, creating that turnover. We'll see if the flow or momentum of this game now changes as icing on the Wild Goose. And give Pete Van Halling, head coach of the Bandits, credit right after they scored. He said, hey, forget celebrating. We got a running clock here. Let's drop the puck and get moving. He knows there's 15 minutes left in their season, essentially.
Yeah, still down by 2. Lots of work left to do, but a good start nonetheless to the third for the Bandits.
Draw to the left of the Wild Goose goaltender, Nick Foster. Off the face-off, Houston holds in for the Bandits, angling one down low. Dan McCarthy now for the Goose. Trickled it past some trouble. Todd Torgerson moved it up, not quite out. Second try, he will force it through center ice. Brad Buck now for the Wild Goose trying to chase to it, but the Bandits win that foot race. They'll push it back in. John Good sends it back the other way. So neutral zone regroup now for the Bandits. With just over 13 and a half minutes left. Wild Goose defense controlling and getting it just out the center, and offside are the Bandits as Jones couldn't hold the blue line.
Yeah, good effort by Jones, but it just came out. And Ryan Kelleher was right there to see it, resulting in the offsides. So 13 minutes to go, but as you said, the Bandits still have lots of work to do, so they're definitely going to keep up the pressure, I'm sure.
Off the face-off. It's forced to center ice. Bandits now over the offensive line. Trying to keep it alive, they do. Shaded outside the left circle is McCombs, but he's on his back and he lost it. It's a jailbreak. It's a 2-on-0 for the Goose. Wild Goose controlling. Dan McCarthy leading the pack into the slot. Fired a shot and a big save there by the Bandits netminder Aaron Harris to keep it just a 2-goal deficit. Good hustle back by the Bandits, by the way, on that backside pressure to force that shot from McCarthy.
Looks like we're going to have a tripping call here as Kelleher makes the motion. Not sure who that's against. Oh, I see Lee Collins skating over for the Bandits. And indeed, it is Collins.
Just a thuggish play there.
Well, they can ill afford that being down by 2,
Yeah.
but kind of a mad scramble there, and Collins with the infraction.
Puck moved out to center ice by the Bandits. They're shorthanded for the first time in this contest, trailing 3-1. Well, if the Bandits find a way to get back into this game or win this one, Aaron Harris will remember that save on the breakaway moments ago with his team down 2 at the time.
Yeah, Forbes made a good play there just to bother the play just a little bit until help arrived. But, yeah, Harris made a good play nonetheless.
Wild Goose on a power play here, but they're forced back inside their own zone. Well, they'll twist it out to center ice, and they've got a 3-on-1 now. Peterson with a goal in the game. Left circle, fighting past the check, and fired one that was knocked away by Harris. Chance for the Bandits to clear, and muscling it was Martin Lopez all the way around to the blue line, but not out. Now it's thrown to the slot. Peterson had it jabbed off his stick blade. And it's played out to center ice by Lopez again. Peterson for the Wild Goose after a loose puck. Bandits D there, though, first. Blistered back through center. 45 seconds to go in the Wild Goose power play. They have a 3-1 lead here with 10:45 to go in regulation. Peterson handles. His pass jammed McMahon a bit, twisted around, and then tried to plop it in. It was broken up by the Bandits and thrown right back out the center. Phil Pashka now for the Wild Goose. Sent a pass off towards the right wing boards, but Cameron Brose was going for a line change. McMahon steps to it and carries in for the Wild Goose with 15 to go on the power play. A long shot blocked away by the Bandits D. They'll gather to the right of their cage and then fired around the boards. Puck not cleared. The Goose hold in. Strathman with a shot. It was blocked and ends up in the corner. Peterson trying to spin one in front blindly. The Bandits intercept. It was lost for a moment by their defense. Vance had kind of overskated. The Wild Goose hold in. They fire one in front. Peterson open, took a shot, and he pushed it wide past the glove side of the netminder. As Harris went down the butterfly, but that shot went wide. Power play is over. Back to live action. Under 10 to go. Matt, what do you think here for the final 10 minutes as far as the Bandits are concerned, down 3-1?
Well, it's time to bring the kitchen sink if you're the Bandits, and they need to press the issue and use their speed. They got Lopez, who's absolutely the fastest player on the ice, and obviously we've seen what Roskilly can do. So I would say get those two guys involved for sure and try to cut this deficit.
Clock continues to tick here with just over 9 minutes now to go. And the Wild Goose leading 3-1. And there you go. That was the web page I was looking for. Good man, Matt.
Yeah, got to help out my partner.
Shots are 15-6 Wild Goose.
And Roskilly does that on purpose, too. He likes to, instead of draw back the faceoff, try to put it right on net, and he did it right there.
Yeah, he's a right shot at the right circle, so he's on his forehand. Again, another one trickles in. Again, another stop there by the Goose goaltender. His face-off once more to the left of Nick Foster. Roskilly this time jabs one through the slot. The Wild Goose will handle it. And Brad Buck trying to muscle it ahead. Will get it out to center. Vance picks it up, shakes past the check, headmans, and it's crushed in there by Tommy Hoffman. The Goose springing around to the right wing boards where Josh Dunt will slap at it and work it out to center. Luke Vance cuts it off. Vance trying to headman. Vance got past the check. Luke Vance in the slot, weaving to the left circle, fired one, he scores! It goes off of the goaltender. Nick Foster's goal stick deflects over his glove hand, and just like that, it's a one-goal game with 7:45 to go and counting.
Well, just a huge play for the Bandits. What an effort by Vance. And I believe that's only his second goal of the year, but he picked a great time to do it. And the Goose are just in shock right now, and all of a sudden the Bandits can smell it. They're right back in this thing, Joe.
Jeremy, you're behind the Wild Goose bench. What's the mood now that they've given up 2 here in the third and lead just by 1?
Well, the mood for the Goose here seems to be defense, defense, defense. I'm not hearing a lot of talk about scoring the puck. I'm hearing a lot about keeping them out of the net, and the exact opposite for the Bandits. They're talking all put it in the net. What can we do just to bury this thing and take the lead? And one of these two teams is going to have the right strategy.
Prevent defense, never a good way to go in my book.
No, and that surprises me too, because the Goose can score, like I said, in bunches, and I thought, well, they're going to keep their foot on the gas. And they've taken it off here, and it's resulted in 2 Bandit goals.
So the Bandits with that big penalty kill, and then just a couple of minutes later, Vance slipped past the check, and from the high slot rolled one that was actually deflected by the netminder, Nick Foster, and he kind of made more trouble for himself. His stick blade was angled to the point where he kind of tipped it over his own left arm.
Well, and should the Bandits tie this up and we end in a tie, we will go to 4-on-4 5-minute overtime, and if that still can't decide it, we'll go to a shootout. But long time to go before then, but it's a possibility now.
Here are the Bandits, left wing side. They've got a man going to the front of the net, grabbing it, waiting, and then trying to fire one was Collins, but he was sort of running out of real estate. The Wild Goose clear out through center ice. Good pass by McCombs to put it towards the vicinity of Collins, who was driving in right circle. Under 6 minutes to go. Well, you told me at the onset on our D-League radio broadcast, Matt, that this one would be close. And here we are, a 1-goal game with under 6 to go. You did your homework.
I've seen these teams a few times.
Like upwards of 20?
Yeah, and in this case, the stats do not lie. Only 1 point difference in the standings, and we're seeing that today. Turned into the game I think we envisioned. That 3-0 lead, I didn't think that was going to hold up, and now we're seeing the Bandits with a lot of pushback here.
Again, May 6th, it was a 2-2 tie between these clubs. The most lopsided victory by either side was the Goose with a 6-0 win November the 5th over the Bandits. Rolling puck ends up on the Bandits, in the Bandits' goal crease, I should say, and Harris just swallows it up.
Joe, we got a nice crowd up in the lounge here enjoying a championship game.
They're way smarter than the folks in the stands or you and I.
Well,
Bucks Arena has never been warm. Anytime I've ever been in here, you way more than me, but anytime I've ever been in this building, I've never been like, oh, it was a pleasant temperature in there. Some rinks are way colder than others, and this is one of them.
Well, in addition to the warmth, there's also a lot of food up there.
I noticed that on the walk-in. There's a chance for the Wild Goose. Good deflection. Wouldn't go. Now a backhander is blocked. Bandits with a physical play as well, defending in front of their own net. They move it ahead and just out the center. We have a penalty. One or both parties. I think we might have coincidental minors here. Ticking down to just about 4 minutes to go. It looks like one for each side to the sin bin.
Well, in the Bandits, I'm sure they like to see Torgerson go into the penalty box because he's definitely one of the most explosive and dangerous scorers for the Goose.
Kent Forbes is in there for the Bandits.
So we are officially down to crunch time, only 3:40 to go.
All right. When would you pull the netminder if you're Pete Van Halling, head coach of the Bandits?
Well, Pete is aggressive. I look for him to do it around the 2-minute mark as long as, obviously, they have possession, and especially if they can get it deep.
A shot by McMahon. Kicked off the left pad of Harris. We stay 5-on-5. One penalty for each side there. As the puck is deep in the Bandit zone. Now 3:11 and counting to go in the third. Chopped off the dasher and just cleared out the center by the Bandits. Back are the Wild Goose in the form of Phil Pashka. Pashka headman. Bandits steal. Tommy Hoffman flipping it in. Trickled out in front. Foster with his goal stick. Punched it away from trouble. Trying to center was Vance. He made it a one-goal game moments ago. Pete Van Halling looking at his netminder Aaron Harris, who's now at the hash marks or thereabout in the Bandits zone. As the Bandits have it deep in the Wild Goose end. 2.5 now to go. There goes the netminder. So an extra attacker out for the Bandits, down 3-2 as a snapshot goes wide from the left wing side. That was a heavy opportunity that just missed. No surprise it was Ross Skilly with that bit. A backhander towards the goal crease, and Foster just fought it off, and the Wild Goose will clear all the way down. This will be an icing call. I believe our final 2 minutes are stoppage time, correct?
They are. That's why we have 18 minutes in the third, and we're just about to that point.
So the clock will stop here at the 2-minute mark. And we'll have, or maybe not. Oh, hang on. It sits at 1:57, the clock. And we will have stoppage time the rest of the way out, pending we stay within a pair of goals. Right now it's a one-goal game. And they held the clock there for a few seconds, as now icing has been called, just to make it even from the fact they didn't stop it exactly at 2.
Yep, good adjustment there by the scorers. So if you're watching this live, don't pay any attention to that 8:22 in penalty time. I don't believe that's the correct amount.
No, it started at like 10 minutes and has been working its way down. So at one point I looked up, there was 9:47 on the penalty clock. So.
Never seen a 10-minute coincidental minor before.
All right, offensive zone draw for the Bandits. Lopez bearing in to take it. It's to the left of the netminder, Foster. You can sense the tension heightening here. A steal by the Wild Goose. They've got a break trying to salt it away. Final moments, an empty netter, and it squeezes just wide. Sean Roskilly on the back check, able to force Cameron Brose into hurrying that shot. He missed it wide. And that gives the Bandits some life here. Wow. That was a break for Bros from his own blue line in an empty net, staring him in the face. Wild Goose able to jab one through center. Under 90 seconds left. Bandits sweep one in. Stick save made by Foster from long range. Collins into the corner trying to chase it down. A centering feed went just wide. Roskilly to it, left wing circle. He'll try and hold in, but Bros muscled it free. And it's flicked out to center by Dan McCarthy of the Wild Goose. And the puck now ends up in the Wild Goose bench with a minute to go in the championship game. 3-2, the Wild Goose lead it. The Bandits from left to right with an empty net behind them. And with this face-off at center right near their blue line, what do the Bandits do? Do they keep Harris out or throw him back in?
It looks like they're going to keep him out, and what a sequence we just saw. Bros with the game on his stick just couldn't quite get it in there, and that just gave a new life to the Bandits. So here we go, 1 minute to go.
Bandits have now 6 on the ice, and a big face-off here. They cannot lose this cleanly with an empty net behind them. Scramble for the puck. Wild Goose trying to drive it in. Shot was blocked, 50 seconds to go. It's thrown out the center. Strathman had a bouncing puck jump over a stick blade. Collins hustling to it, but Strathman drills it back the other way. Icing waved off as that hit a pair of skates out at center. Bandits will move it out to center. Luke Vance tries to punch it in. It's cleared back the other way. Final 30 seconds now. Empty net for the Bandits. They can't attack with speed. It's stolen. Phil Pashka for the Wild Goose on his backhand, right wing boards, dangling down low. Pashka trying to rag off the rest of the clock if he can. Look to center, and look out. It's a chance for the Bandits, 15 seconds to go. Collins leading the pack, fired a shot, and a blocker save made by Foster. 7 seconds left. Bandits try and center. Wild Goose block it down. They'll sweep it out through neutral ice, and that's going to do it. The Wild Goose hang on. A 3-2 win here, the final, and they are the Novice League champs in 2018.
Wow, what a finish. Lee Collins with the last gasp for the Bandits. He got it on net, and Foster had to make one last save, Joe. Great finish.
And the Wild Goose won the semifinal game after building a big lead and hanging on, and here in the championship game, a 3-0 cushion stands up as they win it 3-2. The Bandits, give them credit though, really pushed in that third period, getting a pair of goals and one last gasp as Collins was trying to lead the rush, but Foster a blocker stop. And then as the Wild Goose cleared it down, that was all she wrote.
And Joe, I've got to get down to center ice to do a little trophy presentation. So I will be back after that. And Jeremy, of course, will be looking for some interviews, but I will talk to you again real soon.
Well, Matt, thank you, my friend. And Matt throws on the white gloves there to handle that trophy with class. 3-2 final, Wild Goose win it. My pleasure here to join the D-League radio folks. Thanks to John Riker, the commissioner, for inviting me out here today. Don't forget the Iowa Wild season will be back before you know it at Wells Fargo Arena. IowaWild.com to stay up to date on everything Iowa Wild. And, of course, the NHL bringing a preseason game to Wells Fargo Arena in downtown Des Moines on September the 19th. First ever National Hockey League game in downtown Des Moines at Wells Fargo Arena, the Minnesota Wild and the St. Louis Blues. That should be a fun one. Again, more information at IowaWild.com. So the Wild Goose take the Novice League Championship here today by a 3-2 final. Jeremy, you got anybody there that wants to chat from the championship side of things, the Wild Goose?
I'm going to find somebody here. They're all excited. They just don't know what to say. How's it feel, guys?
Good. Feels good.
Feels good?
Oh, yeah. It's much deserved. We needed it.
How did that feel, those last few minutes when they finally got it up 2-3 and you guys knew you still had to get a win?
It was nerve-wracking. We definitely had to keep the pressure on in order to pull it out, but I feel like we did a good job on it.
How's it feel to be the first winners of the Novice League?
An honor.
All right, so the trophy is out at center ice. And we'll turn it down to ice level for the presentation.
All right, first, congrats to both teams on a great game. Fantastic game for both. Thank you very much. So first to the Bandits, first in the regular season. Very balanced scoring throughout the year. Played a great game today. Came up 1 goal short, but congratulations on a great season for the Bandits. Wild Goose came in as the number 2 seed. He had a plus 42 goal differential, which is the best in the novice division. He had 4 players in the top 10 in scoring. He defeated the Blues in the semifinal, and now you are the inaugural CIDL novice champions. Congratulations. Captain Jake Adams, come get the trophy.
And as is tradition in the great sport of hockey, the championship trophy being skated around by the Wild Goose members. Again, a 3-2 victory for the Wild Goose today over the Bandits here on D-League Radio. Thanks to our sponsors of D-League Radio, the Keg Stand at 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines. So Cherry, screen printing and sewing. And Red Dragon Herbs, custom blended tea. So again, our big thanks to all the sponsors here on D-League Radio. All right, so the final score 3-2. The Wild Goose prevail. They jumped out to a 3-0 lead as they got goals from Matt Burns, Nick Peterson, and Josh Malang. Winning goaltender Nick Foster, as they finished the year with 14 victories. The Bandits suffering the 3-2 loss. Got a goal from Sean Roskilly and a goal by Luke Vance. But unfortunately, the Bandits really running out of time in this one, Matt. Good job on that trophy presentation,
thank
by
you.
the way. You looked official.
Well, as you can tell, we tend to do things a little over the top here in the CIDL, but I think both teams enjoyed it. And Joe, as it turned out, the third period was the key here, because it looked like the Goose had things well in hand, but the Bandits had saved the best for last, and we had quite a finish. An incredible game.
Bandits really came on strong in the third. End up with 10 shots. The Wild Goose finished with 16 shots, and there was a little bit of that feeling out process early, not the quickest start that I think you had probably anticipated, but that late goal in the first period by the Wild Goose and too early in the second, then the Bandits really started to find their legs and turn the pressure up as the final skate or 2 of the championship trophy.
They're cradling that thing pretty good, although that was quite a handoff there. I was a little concerned for a second.
Guys, I'm down here with captain of the Goose, Jake Adams. Jake, was there any doubt in your mind that you guys were going to be champions today?
I don't think so. No, I think we had it. I said it last week. All we had to do was come win it. So here we did it. So no, we're good.
That is a lovely piece of hardware you have in your hands now.
Yeah, it is. I think I might, Ovi style and take it home, sleep with it. I don't know how I'm going to drink a beer out of it, but we'll figure a way.
All right, that might be a little too much information for our D-League listeners, but have fun with it anyway.
Thanks, Jeremy. So we're going to have a little traditional trophy photo at center ice. Anna Bradley, the commissioner, directing traffic. And Joe, that is a special edition jersey she's got on, provided by So Cherry. It says commish on the back. Very nice. So congratulations to the Goose and head coach Kurt DeSellis. As we said, the inaugural CIDL Novice Division champions, the Wild Goose.
Already looking forward to next season, I'm sure, most of these guys.
Yeah, you know, it's interesting because at the very beginning, at the late summer, early fall, we had the on-ice assessment that determined which players would be in novice and which in intermediate. And I have no doubt there'd be a few guys we saw on the ice today who probably be moving up to intermediate. So we'll just have to see how that goes. So one championship decided, one to go. Coming up next, we got the Wolverines and the Jesters. So those of you watching live, thank you. Stay tuned for that. It's sure to be an exciting matchup, Joe.
Yeah, Zamboni ready to take the ice. He's like, get out of here so I can get moving. But the celebration lasted a few more minutes than expected.
Yeah, one of the perks of playing hockey in June is nobody's following you. So if we run a little long today, that's okay.
So 3-2 the final. Wild Goose get it done. Thanks for having me, Matt. Mention that to the listeners out there on D-League Radio. My pleasure to be here today. Thanks to John Reichert for inviting me out, and good luck to you guys down the line.
Yeah, Joe, thanks for coming out today. It was a great game. Enjoyed working with you, and like I said, the Bandits made it close, and heck of an exciting finish.
You guys have a great setup here, so keep it rolling. Nice to see.
Will do. So again, before we wrap up, just want to remind you again that D-League Radio is brought to you by the Keg Stand, now in their third year of primary sponsorship. 3530 Westtown Parkway in West Des Moines, over 90 beers on tap, and food specials all day, Monday through Friday. So Cherry, we mentioned, who is the official outfitter of the CIDL. No minimum order. You can order 1 or you can order 50. And finally, Red Dragon Herbs, custom blended tea and loose leaf herbal teas from around the world, and now being served at the 1882 Coffee Company in Bondurant. So again, 3-2 Wild Goose. Congratulations to them, and we got one more championship to go. So stay tuned for the next one here on D-League Radio.